Welcome to SoCal Sports Report's 81st podcast. I'm John Stellman along with Vince Morales, John Adams. We've been away for 3 weeks and I can't remember who anybody is. We are back and we are loaded, so we're going to get right after it. Want to talk with the guys about the NBA Finals, not so much who's going to win or lose, but how this is going to affect free agents and possible movement. If Toronto wins, does Leonard stay there? Does he go to the Clippers? So let's get that out of the way to start with. Toronto and Golden State. KD, they say, might play now. He's in Toronto with the team. There's been talk about a lot of those guys going, not going. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think the results of the finals is going to impact how their decision is made?
I think they might. I thought the first thing I said when Kawhi hit the jumper at the buzzer to beat the buzzer was like, oh crap, this is not good for the Lakers or the Clippers, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it makes a difference. I think Kawhi Leonard is the type of guy that's perhaps has found a home in Toronto. To get that close and not win it. They're 59 games home court advantage in the finals. Why not come back to that? I don't quite get that. So I either it feels like Kawhi stays, but that's me kind of sounding old school. I think it's different. It's not about the championships anymore so much as the brand once you've sort of been there. And
now, as far as salary wise, can Toronto offer him the top package, or is he is a free agent?
Yeah, he is a free agent, and I think that they can offer him
more than the Clippers.
Max money, or at least the same amount as the Clippers. But I don't profess to know what Kawhi wants. Yeah, but he is a Southern California guy, and
yeah.
I actually think he's gone no matter what happens. I think that he came in, he got them to the NBA Finals like nobody has ever done for them. And I think he's going to want to come to Southern California, be the man for the Clippers. I think that this guy in the Clippers, I think they have a great nucleus as it is. I mean, they have a lot of scrappy, good players. And I think they can go out and get him another big name and really kind of take over Los Angeles, to be honest with you. And I think that is a strong possibility. I think the Clippers got a couple different ways they can go. If he decides to stay, I think they can go get a Klay Thompson. You know what I mean? Like, they're willing to spend money in Los Angeles.
They've got 2 max salaries spot slots.
And I think they could go get some other great players to help out Leonard. But I think I just don't think he's a Toronto guy. I think it's been exceptional at what he's done. I think it's been great for the town. When you got fans loaded outside the arena watching the game, almost like they would a hockey game,
Right.
It's been pretty special. I do think this guy's going to try to offer him whatever he can, but I just don't know mentally if that's what Leonard wants to do.
Yeah. Plus, Southern California, the LA area offers a lot more opportunities to make money outside of basketball. And if he's thinking about sponsorships and movies or whatever, personal appearances, whatever he wants to do, I think he would choose the Clippers over the Lakers. I mean, look at the front office comparison. I mean, you got a solid front office. You got a great coach, good, like you say, a good young team. The Lakers are nothing but chaos. Nobody knows what's going on or who's making the decisions. I don't think he wants to get into that. I've heard that he doesn't want to join LeBron. He wants to beat LeBron in his building.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't be surprised. I think this would be bad news for the Laker fans if Kawhi goes to the Clips.
I heard Damon Stoudemire today on Colin Cowherd saying, look, he was the first pick Toronto ever had, first round, 7th pick of the first round when he came out of Arizona, saying he thinks I mean, he says, I don't see why Kawhi would leave Toronto. He says, you can be a star in two countries, and you have the same types of advertising and sponsorship opportunities in Toronto, which is a short flight from New York City. It's essentially right there. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. There's a competitive nature to guys like Kawhi Leonard, and you're this close. I think if he wins it, I say maybe he moves on to the next greener pasture. But I don't understand the thinking. If you throw out all the stuff, he's a Southern California guy, he wants to come to Los Angeles, that's better for his brand. If you throw that all out, I don't understand the thinking of why Kawhi Leonard would not want to chase that championship in Toronto after getting to the finals when the guy that's KD might not even be there. That might be the ticket for it. There's no I mean, the Clippers are still, I mean, let's not anoint them yet as even the best in LA yet, right? The best franchise yet, right? There's not a banner hanging in that building for them. This is not their.
There's banners hanging.
They hang them, but they're not titles.
They're different color.
Yeah, they're not titles.
Yeah.
So I'm not convinced of it yet. All right, I'm not convinced of it yet. You got to show me, right? I'm not convinced the Lakers are going to absolutely be handed that, but that is a very good, talented Lakers team that still has LeBron James on it, and I'd take that team over the Clippers team any day, twice on Sunday. That talent is there as well. They didn't do it. They were unhealthy last year, but they were on pace and they were on track. If you take all of these things away and you just look at the talent on the court, which is where it's played, right? All it takes is one signing. I'm still taking the Lakers. I still think that's the place you want to be.
Plus the fact if LeBron doesn't get hurt on Christmas Day, you don't know where the Lakers would have ended up.
No, or
like
Lonzo Ball for that matter.
Exactly.
I just don't think we know yet. Is it a good time to be a Clipper fan? Absolutely. It's good. But if August rolls around and they miss the boat on a couple of those top max free agents and they're playing max for, say, I don't know, Jimmy Butler or somebody else, where the Lakers would be, I
think Kemba.
I don't know. Yeah, Kemba Walker is great.
I think he's
but,
great to go after.
I don't want to be the guy, a Clipper fan, who's rooting for a max contract for Kemba Walker. Mm-hmm. I think that's a loss for the Clippers, right? I just think that's a loss.
Yeah,
he's a great player. Don't get me wrong. That's a loss.
I think they're going to want to spend their money more on if they get a guy like Leonard, right? You need to find a bigger man or a bigger scorer, a big forward or something like that to help him out. I think they're okay in the guard area, but I just try to spend that more money in that depth that they need. On the flip side is, I don't know how to answer the whole KD situation in Golden State, and I kind of see a situation where if they win, does Clay stay, right? Or does Clay's going to be offered a lot of money? So if he goes, does KD stay, right? And if Clay stays, does KD go? And if he does go, I guess I don't know where he would go. Is it New York? Is it LA? I don't know. But this calf injury is quite interesting. I wonder how, if this is something that could be continuing down the road,
Right.
He ain't getting any younger, right? He's 7 foot. So,
I don't know anything, right? I haven't heard anything. All I'm saying is that there's an eyeball test, right? And when we saw Gurley not able to perform in the playoffs, it should have been very obvious that there was something seriously wrong. I saw KD, and I saw Kobe when he did the same thing. That looked like an Achilles to me. And I am telling you, it would not surprise me at all to find out later that they've been slow playing this and slow rolling this and calling it a calf injury and saying he might be back, he might be back, he might be back. he's not coming back. It's an Achilles.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised by that at all.
Good point.
I have no medical background to say it, but from the eyeball test, I saw it happen. When he looked back like somebody shot him, it looked like an Achilles. I thought, that's an Achilles. I think everybody who saw it thought it was an Achilles. And all we have to go on is what Golden State is telling us, that it's a calf. But we haven't seen him.
Now, if Golden State should win this thing without KD,
Well, they're playing better without him.
well, they're playing very well without him.
Yeah.
They play different without him.
Yeah, true.
You right?
Yeah.
They won, 73 games without him.
Yeah.
So,
You know, it's been really quiet as the Anthony Davis talks. And you wonder what's going on there.
Well, again, you know, they're talking to him, right? The management ownership is talking with Anthony and seeing if they can mend the rift, right?
In New
so
Orleans.
that's what's happening. So there's no talk about that, and anyway, that you can't tamper, right?
Right.
So that's what's happening with that. We're going to see what happens with this. I think that they're going to come to some mutual agreement. I don't know that Anthony Davis wants to be there. I mean, I think there's a 50-50 chance that he just says, let this be Zion's team, and
right.
you build around him with whatever you can get for me. But I want to be somewhere else.
You don't think the attraction of Zion would want him, would help the New Orleans keep Anthony Davis there, looking that they've got the two of them to.
I think that you, me, John, we all probably would think that. I haven't heard a thing from Anthony Davis or Anthony Davis's camp. I haven't read a thing where it's like, this is great. They're still, again, they're slow playing it, right? I think if they come to some agreement and they figure something out and they mend the fences, then Anthony Davis will be the guy saying, this is great. I don't think Anthony Davis wants to be in New Orleans. I don't whether it's with Zion or whoever. I just don't think he wants to be there. It's certainly attractive, but if I'm Anthony Davis,
it's New Orleans,
Yeah, snooze.
All right.
Now the Warriors, do they have 3 max contracts? Steph,
Clay
and KD they're all max contracts.
I don't know if Clay's a max though.
He could be a max.
could be a
He's
max.
not currently.
Yeah, I don't think they could afford all 3 of them.
No, I don't think he can. No. Well, because you think Green's going to be gone too. That's another guy that might be leaving.
Right.
Who's really the glue. I mean, he's been playing so terrific. If he's motivated like that during the regular season for a team, he makes a lot of sense for just about anybody.
Would that be somebody the Lakers might want to go
Sure.
on? Yeah.
I mean, again, there's an overlap
Right.
there, but his defense is fantastic. But it all depends. I wanted to read something that gave me a little hope that Frank Vogel knows what's going on, right?
We were going to get to that.
My style of coaching and the things that I think are important to creating a winning program start with organizational wide togetherness. We haven't seen much of that happen.
Yeah, no.
Everybody has to be pulling in the same direction. We haven't seen that. Okay. He wants that, and maybe he says, I really believe in the value of the three-point shot. And what he goes on to say is that LeBron is the best drive and dish guy ever to play the game. So you need shooters, right?
Or Clay.
No, we've known that. Yeah.
He says, so what they want to do is, he says that the value of the free throw is higher than the rim 2, which is higher than the corner 3, which is higher than the arc 3, which is higher than the mid-range shot. But within all of that, the open shot takes precedent. I read that, and I'm thinking, for Lonzo Ball, nope.
Yep.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope. Nope.
Right.
How does that guy fit in Vogel's? Right?
Yeah.
And Pelinka thinks Lonzo Ball is a transformative guy, a generational type player. This is like this.
Oh.
I like that if Vogel has any say at all in getting the types of guys that he wants, guys that can hit free throws, guys that can hit 3 and spread the floor, and let LeBron do what LeBron does best. And some of those guys are there. I mean, Kuzma could become a better shooter. Ingram can become a better shooter. Lonzo might become a better shooter, but when I look at this, I just think,
Yeah, see, Lonzo is going to be the guy that's going to drive and dish. but
Right.
but LeBron's better
Yeah,
at doing that,
yeah,
right?
now you got two guys.
Exactly.
Not just that, he's better at shooting free throws. If he goes down to dish or decides to go, he gets fouled. He can go to the you're right, Vince. I mean, there's 4 check marks that do not look
Right.
good, for ball. And
Well, other than the open shot, Lonzo, because everybody leaves him open. So according to Frank, that's the highest of all. That's at the top of the pyramid is the open shot, right? So Lonzo's going to get a lot of those, right? Because he hasn't that he
That's gonna make him.
can hit the 3 or the mid range. And for me, he certainly hasn't proven that he can hit the free throw 40-something%. I mean, that's atrocious. That's dreadful. That's dreadful. And in Vogel's philosophy, that's the highest rated thing other than an open shot. It's a higher value to him than the 2 at the rim, which Lonzo can't finish either.
No. And then when he gets fouled, he can't make the free throw.
That's right. And he can't spread the floor because he can't hit the 3. And yet he's a transformational, once-in-a-generation player.
Do you think Ty Lue made a mistake by not taking that job, by being so stickled on a longer contract? And it seems like it was his job to accept or reject. And I'm wondering if he was.
when I looked at that, I would have did the same thing, to be honest with you, because right now you're telling me on a 3-year deal is I'm only here as long as LeBron's here.
That's right.
So is that what I'm here for? I'm here to where I want to be able to be your future coach, and you're telling me in 5 years or in 4 years I'm not your coach. So for me, for security, I'm going to want to fight for those 2 extra years just in case you do can me. I still have those 2 extra years that are guaranteed for a contract. So why do I want to take a job where I know that, if he's gone, I'm gone type of deal?
Right.
And
Exactly.
not just that, and then I got to go ahead and take the whole Jason Kidd situation where I got another guy that is,
Looking over my shoulder,
is this guy for me to coach a team to make sure that you're comfortable with him, so when you do fire me, you give him the job? Like, that it's getting weirder by the week, with how they're handling things. I don't know what's going on with this. Almost what I don't know if they're considering it 2 head coaches or what, or is this a thing just to get Jason Kidd down the road, or is I don't know. It's almost like what Osmus did with the Angels. Like, yeah, we're gonna put you back here, and then when he leaves, we're gonna get rid of him. We'll make you the head coach. It's just,
Lakers better get off to a fast start next year, or you'll see.
I think they're going
Kidd.
to play better for this guy than they are Jason Kidd. And I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of attributes that Kidd has as a coach that can help them. Maybe help the guard situation, and did they bring him in to help Ball become a better guard? Who knows? It's just weird. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Now again, I've seen head coaches get fired and become assistant coaches down the road. I've seen that. But the way they kind of announced it was a little weird. Like, yeah, we feel like we got 2 head coaches here.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just,
Ty
it's just
Lue,
getting a little weird.
Yeah, Ty Lue made the right decision. There's when you want 5 and they come in with 3, and then essentially handcuffing you to LeBron and then handcuffing you to Jason Kidd. It's the absolute right decision. He's won an NBA title. Whether it was LeBron or whether he had anything,
right.
whether you believe he had anything to do with it, he is still an NBA head coach who has an NBA title. And to me, that's worth 5 years. I'm not saying Ty Lue was the right guy for the Lakers. He might be the right guy for LeBron, and it may have helped steady things a little bit. But it was absolutely the right decision. For Ty Lue, for his brand, for himself, for his business.
Was Vogel so desperate that he took the job anyway? You got the same contract.
Yeah, I think there's something about, sure, desperate in the sense that it's like, yeah, I'll agree to that, and I don't care, but not so desperate that it's like, oh my God, there's somebody looking over my shoulder. It's like, I'll take that job because I'm a better coach than Jason Kidd. Right? You may have a Hall of Famer who's going to get some respect from Lonzo Ball and from LeBron James, but I know I can coach better than him. And I'm convinced that Frank Vogel's a better coach than Jason Kidd.
And I think he's a better coach than Luke, too.
And Luke had a 4-year contract, didn't he?
Yeah. And, I'm actually I'm happy to see. I'm curious to see how this is going to go. But this would have been the guy that I would have chose from, what was out there.
His defensive philosophy and his ideas about scoring. I think he's learned a lot from his mistakes out there. But he's a good coach. I like the idea of Vogel, and I'm willing to give him a chance. And I would not have been thrilled with Jason Kidd. The minute I heard Jason Kidd is even, or Juwan Howard.
Well, he was practically on the staff before they even selected a head coach. He was already there as an assistant. What do you guys think about the 4th pick? Are the Lakers going to deal that?
Well, again, it's one of those things where July 1st comes, and that's really the only time that pick has any kind of value. The Lakers are, the 4th man on a 3-horse merry-go-round, right? Yeah. So there's 3 great guys in this, and they pick 4th. So it's not a great value in that regard that they're going to dangle it out there that somebody really wants it. And the bottom line is that until they actually draft that person, they really can't trade it because it has no value. It's got very little monetary value. So it doesn't open up cap space. Somebody's really got to want that pick. And I don't think that's an attractive thing for, New Orleans, to like, oh, we get to me, it's going to wait. They're going to pick that pick, whoever it is, and then they're going to decide where it goes. But they have to pick that pick as if it's somebody who can help their organization, help that team, help them win games immediately. And to me, that's somebody who can stretch the defense, who can shoot the 3. To me, is that, a Darius Gardner who only played 5 games but can shoot the hell out of it?
Right.
I think so. But again, there's some development that needs to happen there, right?
Yeah. All right. I just want to make a quick mention that Derek Fisher returned to pro basketball. Head coach of the Sparks. Lost their league opener to Vegas, who is favored to win the WNBA. But I was glad to see Fish back in the game, back in L.A. He had a heck of a ride in New York. I mean, it was a disaster, and I hope and pray that he's learned from that. And the Sparks have a little bit of talent on that team. They have, without Candace Parker right now, who was a 2-time MVP. Maybe this will be the stepping stone to another NBA job for Derek.
Well, I mean, and that's where I was looking at this, and I'm sorry, I haven't been looking at WNBA. I'll wait until the NBA Finals is over before I look at any WNBA. But my first thing is why didn't he take an assistant job with a nice club or something, or assistant to Doc or assistant to Vogel or assistant
to... Well, I think it's likely there was none available.
There wasn't nothing offered.
Well, I mean, maybe locally, but there's got to be something.
I doubt it.
Really?
If he's taking a WNBA job, I'm guessing there's absolutely no reason.
Okay.
There's nothing available out there,
To his liking. There's maybe something available, but maybe, don't want to get that pay grade and
look, I don't think he wants to coach in college. Right. Damon Stoudemire is up at University of Pacific, and I just don't think. I think he likes LA, and he doesn't want. I just don't think there's anything for him. Mm-hmm. That's why. Look, I don't think that the WNBA is a stepping stone for coaching. I think it's a black hole.
Right.
Bill Laimbeer is not getting a head coaching job because he's coaching the Vegas Aces to a title. That's not happening. Right. In my opinion. So I think Fish didn't have a lot of options. I think this is sort of his penance for the issues that he's had. So, That's how I feel about it. I think you run out of options when you take that job. I don't think he was turning down assistant coaching jobs in the NBA.
And I don't think that NBA franchises are looking even at the guy who wins 2 WNBA championships that he's the guy.
Yeah.
To come. Like I said, I mean, once you're down there, I think you're down there, and I don't think that is a stepping stone to come back up.
Switching to a little bit of Dodger baseball, they seem to be opening up a nice little gap in the National League West, which is Not surprising. Maybe it took a little longer than we thought, but they're starting to move away from the pack. Still not everybody playing as well as they can, and when they get to that point, the Dodgers may make a real runaway of that division.
Yeah, I mean, 17 games over 500. 20-7 at home, 16-12 on the road. They've really their pitching just hasn't. Their starting pitching has been good, and the relief pitching has just been, dumpster fire. And again, Roberts is one of those guys where he's just not going to overuse certain guys. So every time a Dodger fan thinks, "Oh, just put in Baez," he just can't do it. He can't overwork him. So he's trying to get these guys work. Kelly looks like he's just not going to find it again. And again, if anybody remembers what his season was like last year, it was so unexpected what he did in the World Series and in the postseason, because he sucked for great periods of time for the Red Sox during the season. He was just awful, almost unpitchable. And it's the same thing here. So there's a little hope that he might get it right. I've heard some rumblings that the Dodgers are sort of tinkering with making him throw pitches he doesn't want to throw. So I think it's not going to be soon that we're going to see a good Joe Kelly. You're bringing him in to mop up. He's making $12 million a year to mop up. It's bad.
He looks sensational in the World Series.
That's okay. We're giving Harvey $11 million to give up home runs. So,
but the Dodgers have been riding, the backs of, again, for them to be at this level with Pollock out and with the bullpen being so crappy, it's just a testament to how Cody Bellinger has just carried this team on his back. We're talking 20 home runs, 51 RBI, 49 runs. He's hitting 382.
Kid's amazing.
469 on base. 1239 on base plus slugging.
Wow.
He's got 73 hits. 33 of them are extra base hits. He's got more walks than strikeouts. He's got 7 outfield assists. And he's got 15 defensive runs saved. He's got a WAR of 5.4. I think the next guy behind him is Trout with 3.7. I mean, he's absolutely the last time that anybody at this point in the season had 19 at the time 19 home runs and 7 outfield assists, you had to go back to Babe Ruth. That's some lofty company. Now, is it sustainable? I don't know, but 320 is possible.
Yeah.
And 40 home runs is absolutely.
Well, 100 RBIs, he's halfway there.
Yeah. And we're a third of the way through the season, right? So he's on pace for 60. 150 RBI, obviously that's not going to be sustainable, but his approach at the plate is ridiculously good. And I said on one of our podcasts before that I thought Cody Bellinger needed to play somewhere consistently. You needed to put him somewhere because he could be a Gold Glove first baseman, he could be a Gold Glove outfielder. He has shown not only that he has an elite arm, but that he's an elite defender. Only 16% of balls hit to him go for extra base hits. That's 3 times less than the outfield average. It's unbelievable. And I don't understand why people are still running on him, and I don't understand why people are still pitching to him.
Yeah.
Right? When guys like Beatty are batting behind, Roberts can just do some just sophomoric things with that lineup. And you think, why are you hitting Beatty behind Cody when he's hitting 400? They're just gonna walk.
Yeah.
Cody, but they don't. I don't understand it.
You figure too, the Dodgers. Chris Taylor's not hitting. Kike Hernandez is not hitting.
Both of those guys have started to do a little bit. Right? Yeah, Peterson's doing well. He's got 15 home runs. He's second on the team within 15 home runs. Muncie's got 10. We're still waiting for Turner to heat it up. Right? Yeah. But those guys are steady. They've got.
Is Seager doing okay?
They've got 10 guys with 4 or more home runs. They're the only team. And Seager again slowly defensively, he's been fantastic. His arm. I mean, he's just got a next level rocket arm, and he's starting to come around. There are things to like offensively, as you say, that can still improve, even if some guys, slow down or cool off. It's the relief pitching that's the problem, and at the trade deadline, it's something that absolutely needs to be addressed.
Do you think they go for Kimbrel?
Yeah, because that's been a talk.
No,
No.
I don't. I think it's too much money for a guy who,
Would be your setup
over the
guy,
last 30 games, has been dreadful. I mean, he's been awful. He would be Joe Kelly-esque. To me, I think that the thought, the notion of Kimbrel is good, but he was terrible. There's a reason he hasn't been signed.
Right.
It's too much money for a guy who, in his "What have you done for me lately?" has been a 5 ERA with I mean the last 30 appearances. Not good.
Yeah.
So no, I don't want him. I don't think that's the right thing. And it doesn't feel like an Andrew Friedman type of move.
Well, the Angels pulled out one today, huh?
Yeah, the comeback kids. Yeah, exactly.
They're only 3 games under 500. I mean, you guys acting like that this is a Irish, this is a wake. It should be an Irish wake. This is it's something to celebrate. This team is only.
They're about 3.5 out of the wild card, aren't they? They're not second wild card.
Yeah, but we just kind of like. I mean, they're gonna have to do something after the All-Star game. But I mean, it's just the same. We're never gonna be like we need a third baseman. I mean, we're moving people all over the place. I mean, David Fletcher's going all over the place to play.
I like David Fletcher.
I do.
He needs to play regularly.
And look, Puelo came up today and went 3 for 4. He was hitting .299 at Salt Lake, and maybe it is bringing these kids up and letting them play, right? But we're never going to be able to spend the money to go out and get the wow factor, until Pujols is gone. I do like is there another Canning down there? He
pitched well today.
He pitched great. He 1 earned run in 6 innings, and he's come up. He's just getting more confidence. Is there more kids like that down in the minors that we could come up? Haney's back, but yeah, we have issues also in the bullpen. The bullpen, lost a win today, and. But we were able to come back and score 5 in the 11th. But I don't know. I just was it Cozart goes on the DL IL again.
Good.
Right? He was batting 125 doing that. We spent 30. What was it?
39 for 3 years.
million
13 a year.
Last year he only played half the season. This year the shoulder's flaring up again, so he's going back on the DL And again, you have David Fletcher playing third base, shortstop, second base, left field.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and I don't know. And he's scrappy. I love to watch him play. But I like some of the younger kids that have come up. They've actually made, they made a dent. But I don't know if Epler's. He's weird.
He's got to stop signing the Harveys and the Cahills and those guys. You got to understand why they were released, why they were out there.
Right. I mean, Cahill, in my mind, he's a 500 guy. Yeah. I mean, he's lucky to be a 500 guy, right? Yeah. Harvey, the way that's going, I mean, that could be just a debacle of 11 million. Thank goodness that's a 1-year deal, right? But, he Harvey walks around like he's the ace, like, I'm the guy, and you're like,
here I am.
You're a loser.
So, the Angels 24th in the MLB in ERA, right? 4.99. Don't have a complete game. Have 1 shutout, and 20th in the MLB in WHIP, and dead last in quality starts with 9. And I hate the term quality start because it's like you quality starter, you're a 4.50 ERA. I hate that. I mean, I hate that that's the barometer for a quality start, but they've got 9. Just 9. That's so bad. I mean,
that's by the way, we'll never have a complete game because we don't have anybody that can go 9, let alone they always start now. Majority of their starts are with an opener.
Right.
They're jumping on the Tampa Bay bandwagon a little bit on this whole deal. There's times where I see like, this kid Anderson could be, the some of these
I
closers.
was starting
could
to
be the
like
guy
him for a while until the
throwing-
last 2 or 3 ball games.
Right, exactly, yeah. And then they had the kid Robles come in and throw 99, and he gave up runs,
Yep.
And I don't know, is this a guy that you can only pitch every other game, right? You can't bring him. He doesn't have the ability to come in every game to be a closer. I don't know. It's what are they? We talked about it, right?
Yes.
It's work in progress. It's 500 at best, and
It could be a lot worse. I
know.
mean, 3 games under 500 at this point with that terrible ERA. It's not that bad.
And the kid, the rookie, not the rookie, but I mean the sensation from the number 1 draft pick from 2 years ago. He was in rookie ball. He got hurt in spring training.
Oh, Joe Adele?
Adele, yeah. So he's back. He just played his second game
Right.
at
Inland Empire.
Inland Empire. Hit a home run. He's hit a home run in the last 2 nights. They say he'll be in Double-A in a week or so. And then hopefully you get to see him after the All-Star break.
AAA and then maybe up here,
I don't know.
yeah.
I know Trout spoke very highly of the guy.
Yeah.
So, but Calhoun's not doing
No,
his.
he's starting to hit. He's
a
starting
little
to
bit,
hit.
but he's still not.
Well,
I mean, he's
gone
there
from
for his
one-
defense,
He's gone from 150 to about 246.
Yeah.
Starting to hit a little bit.
Yeah. I mean,
But they've got, like I say, it's a long year.
the kid Goodwin, I can't watch him play defense. He's terrible.
Oh, he's awful.
Oh.
He doesn't even take the right route to the ball
No,
half
he
the time.
doesn't. And then he looks at the other player like, I thought you were getting it, as he's grabbing it off the wall and throwing it in.
Another guy that was released.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Want to give some props to the Bruins, who are the top overall seed in this year's College World Series, number 1 seed. They host the West Regionals this weekend. I think they get Omaha.
Yeah.
And the other game will be Loyola against Baylor, I believe. And they'll have the home field advantage for all the regional tournaments until they get to Omaha, if they get to Omaha. So that's, how many, they've won 1 NCAA College World Series championship. This could be a shot at number 2, but how many do the Trojans have?
12.
Yeah.
But the last one in 1998, so 21 years ago.
I think the team to worry about is Vanderbilt. I think Vanderbilt's the team to beat.
They're always good.
They're good.
Yeah.
I mean, that team is, you could tell, is gelling together. They were down 6-1 over the weekend against I think Ole Miss, and just reeled them back in. Ended up winning it in extra innings, like 12-11 or whatever. But that team's good. I think that could be the team to beat. But again, UCLA's played great, and they're going to be at home the whole entire time until they have to go. And you can't ask for, anything better than that.
I'd like to see him at least get to Omaha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Win, lose, or draw.
Meanwhile, the Trojans will not renew the contract of their head coach, Dan Hubbs. So after 7 seasons and a 188-200 record, he will be gone, and the Trojans will be looking for a new guy.
Derek Fisher might be available.
I hear.
How about Jake? Jake Vermansky.
Jake Vermansky.
Hey, Jake.
Yeah.
I hear the UC Santa Barbara coach, Andrew Checketts, is
they just won.
in
Right?
line.
Yeah.
Is a possibility.
Okay.
One of the top candidates for that. So. Yeah, the Trojans were 7th in the Pac-12, and looking at this, they've had 3 head coaches since Mike Gillespie left in 2006. Right, he was there for 20 years. Dado was there for 45 years.
yeah,
right,
ever.
the Trojans have been 322 and 351 since Gillespie left.
Wow.
Not good.
Wow.
Not good.
No.
And they only went to one NC2A tournament in Hubbs' tenure, 7-year tenure. He did have a 31 season. They won 32 games a few years ago, but then it was all downhill since. So
Yeah, that didn't
he's
get it
gone.
in. Yeah. Well, that's probably what they need.
He gone.
He gone.
He go. Cal State's run of 37 straight NCAA appearances over.
That was shocking to read that.
It had to
Yeah.
end sometime, but they've had going back to Augie Garrido and the World Championship
UCI
teams.
it started stealing a lot of those players. UCLA getting better, stealing a lot of those players.
Right.
So after I saw that, it didn't surprise me. And maybe this kid from UCSB was starting to steal some more players, but they used to be Cal State's Fullerton first, then go, right?
Yeah,
From that
exactly.
point on.
Yeah.
They were always locked and loaded, but that's crazy. That was a nice run there. Yeah.
The Ducks might finally be in a position to name a head coach
Yeah.
after the Gulls were eliminated in the AHL West Finals by Chicago for 4-2. Dallas Aikens should have that job. I don't know why they would have waited this long if he wasn't going to get the job. I'm sure there are plenty of assistants out there, bench guys out there, whose teams are not in the playoffs that they could have hired if they were seriously considering them. So I got to believe. I think you've said before, the guy's got to be a perfect fit. I mean, he's had all these kids at San Diego.
Well, and
He's
they all,
had
and it
success.
looks like they all want to play for him. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah,
And
they like him.
and Murray's kind of come out and said, "Hey, look, we're gonna, we could have 5 to 6 of these kids up next year,
Oh, yeah.
and playing." So all of a sudden, he knows them, right? So. I read some quotes on him in the last couple days, and I really like the way he talks and how he sees the game. I think how he would control the bigger names, the Getzlovs and those guys, and we'll see if that. But I think he's a perfect fit. I mean, all those kids know him, and if you're going
play
to bring
for
up
him.
5 to 6 next year. And this was a perfect example. Why? I mean, nice little run, in the playoffs. Loses Chicago, of all the teams, Chicago.
Was your wife happy about that?
I didn't tell her about that.
She's
She
not a
wouldn't
Wolf-
know anyways.
not a Wolf
She didn't even
fan?
know Bill Buckner played for the Cubs, for crying out loud. So, but that's but I hope they go this route.
I do too.
I really do, and it would be frustrating to see him, go in and
He deserves
bring in somebody
the
else.
shot.
I think he does. I agree with you.
And like I
think he
say,
does.
I don't know why if they weren't going to hire him, why wait this long?
Right.
They're waiting for him for his season to end. So I'd be very surprised if they didn't hire him.
Yeah.
We forgot to talk. You just reminded me. We
Yeah.
did forget to talk about Billy Buckner.
Yeah.
He passed at 69 a few days ago. That was a sad story. He was one of the good guys. Billy Buckner was one of the good guys, and unfortunately, like I said, he's going to be remembered more for that error he made in Boston. It cost him the World Series than he is, or possibly cost him the World Series, than he is for all what he accomplished, with the Dodgers. But he was a good Dodger.
You're absolutely right. It is sad that that's what he's going to be remembered for because, he was scrappy. He was a grinder.
was, yeah.
He played hard. Kind of like a Kirk Gibson type of player. Got dirty. It's just winning. One of the things that a lot of people don't know. I heard this the other day on Dan Patrick was, he was in that locker room in Shea when he made that error, and he answered every single question from every single reporter, even if it was a repetitive question. He was very professional about it. He said, the hard part about it is he had to pack up his family and he had to move to Idaho. And it wasn't due to the fact that he couldn't handle what was going on in the city. The problem was his son was getting bullied on a daily basis. And he says, I can't do this to my son. So he packed up the family and left. It wasn't because of him. It was because of what was happening to his son. And that's just sad to hear, that he's got to leave the city because, parents, kids, or whatever, not, brought up right and have to go the bully route to do that. And he said, I couldn't have my kid coming home crying every day. He said it was just too hard, so he left. And there was a statistic that came out on Sunday, the day that he passed. And I thought this was pretty incredible if you think about it. On the Sunday that Buckner's passing, there were 16 Major League Baseball players that struck out 3 times or more that day. Buckner never did that in 22 years.
Struck out 3 times.
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, Dodger fans don't forget that, he had 319, 72. He was an even numbered year guy. So 319 and 72, 314 and 74, and that the World Series year. Not that they won, but the year they were beaten by the A's, and 301 and 76. So that the next year he was traded. And for the Dodgers, it was so I know for my brothers who love Billy Buck, it was a sad day. But the Dodgers got Monday, who contributed to a title for them in '81. So and helped them to get to the World Series in '77 and '78, and so it was a good trade for both clubs, and for the Cubs and for the Dodgers, and it was a continuation of some good times and good years for the Dodgers. So I will always remember Billy Buck fondly, and I remember at the time thinking, why was he in the game? Right? Was it McNamara, the manager of the Sox?
Yeah.
At that juncture in the game,
they talked about that a lot.
There's just absolutely no reason he should have been in that game.
Yeah.
Except for perhaps the fact that McNamara thought, I'm going to leave the old guy out there because I want him to be on the field when we win the title.
Yeah.
But strategically, defensively, he shouldn't have been out there.
So, I don't know if you remember this, Vince, but he played left field, right, for the Dodgers?
He did.
Yeah.
That's all he played. Yeah,
okay, all right. So if you guys rewind and you see, remember when Hank Aaron, I think he hits the 715?
It was 715.
715.
Yeah,
and Buckner's playing left field.
Yeah.
And when that goes over the fence, Buckner climbs the fence, and he knows that ball is going to be worth a lot. So he starts, and his left leg goes over the fence, and then he looks over, and there's guys in the bullpen grabbing the ball. He's like,
yeah, it was Tom House, actually, who picked up the ball.
Yeah.
But in a scrap between Buckner and House, I'd take Buckner.
Right,
in that fight.
but Buckner starts to climb this fence, and he knows this thing's way over the fence. So he's like, that ball means something. So then he starts putting his left leg, and then when you see it, he looks over, and he's like, oh, someone's got the ball.
It's one of the as a Dodger fan, it's one of the things that I look at and remember of that video replay of that of 715.
Yeah,
and the fact that Downing hung him, just grooved him.
But I just remember Buckner's climbing the fence. Yeah, is he? And I know the whole thing is like you can see it like that's a very powerful baseball that's going over that fence. It's going to be worth something. And,
but knowing Buckner, I think his first thought was, I might be able to get this. I got to get up there, and then at some point it was like, I'm not going to get this, but I might get that ball.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and then I'll go down in history.
Right. Yeah.
The
And then Bart Starr passed away also.
Yes, he did. Yeah, that was
excuse me.
That was another tough blow.
And I don't know too much about Bart Starr, but obviously, icon in Green Bay and a phenomenal
The Ice
football
Bowl
player,
Ice Bowl.
So obviously they'll probably be doing something in Green Bay, at the beginning, because don't they open up? I don't know if they open up in Green Bay or in Soldier Field, but they're playing. They're the first September 5th against the Bears. So
Okay.
Oh, that'll be great.
yeah,
One of his rivals, right?
yeah.
The LAFC continues to roll in Major League Soccer. They're just making a mockery out of the whole Western Division. The thing that astounds me the most, I mean, they've got a 10-1-4 record. They're 8 points ahead of Seattle, but their goal differential, they're plus 25 in goal differential. Is just incredible.
I was making a mint
Jeez.
off the LAFC in the early
Really?
games. Yeah.
Look at
King
you.
and I were talking about that. And just that they were just Vegas didn't really know what to think of them early on.
Right.
And they were rolling. I mean, they've still been rolling. I mean, and the fact that they've sustained this, they've just looked absolutely Man City-like. They're unbelievable. I mean, the Galaxy are no slouches, but
No, the Galaxy,
yeah. But the LAFC has just been, at the bank, they have a distinct advantage. I mean, that what a great stadium. But even on the road, they're just dominating.
They are. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really they're really good.
It's I mean, the fact that their scoring is just incredible, but their defense doesn't suffer at all. I mean, nobody can score against them. It's just it's just as impressive as the offense, which has been pretty darn impressive. Did we have another death at Santa Anita?
Yeah,
I had heard about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know there's 3. Huh?
26.
3 in the last 9 days, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Turf or dirt? or practice?
Oh,
Or?
I don't know. No, it was during a race. Yeah, but I don't know if it was turf or dirt. Something needs to be done. It needs to be investigated. They need to absolutely shut the track down.
Well, what
and figure
did
it
they
out.
accomplish during this? They had a 3-week shutdown earlier this year, didn't they? Were they able to figure anything out or
They
not?
did the chemistry and botany, experiments and turf. They're trying to figure it out. I mean, experts were coming in and clearing that track. It's got to be a combination of other things.
Yeah. It's not. It's not happening like that around the nation, is it?
No. Well, I mean, Del Mar was when they had the
Yeah, but I
synthetic.
mean back east.
No, it's pretty pronounced here. I mean, this is a track that is not used to a lot of rain. We've obviously had a lot of rain. That has caused something to happen. But I also think it's you're taking horses that are probably not quality and overtraining them, probably over medicating them, and running them when they shouldn't be running at levels and at grades that they probably shouldn't be running. I think it's a conglomeration of things. I don't think you can point to one thing and say it's only this, and it's a shame because God, we love horse racing and it was just a majestic sport, and the horses are fantastic, and you just don't want to see this. And Santa Anita cannot afford, to have this.
What can they possibly do after the season's over before the next season starts? I mean, haven't they done practically everything that?
Yeah, they brought in the guy that was that had been doing their turf and dirt
Right.
and then they let him go, and then he's actually does Los Alamitos and Del Mar, and then they brought him back as a consultant to go all the way through the Breeders' Cup. And I thought he had figured it all out. But you know what? Because of, I was gone all last 10, 12 days out of the country. It's always been around the weather, right? So it must have got sloppy or and I don't know if there's something going on post weather. Like, is it firm underneath and not on the top and the hooves are going in and clip? I don't know, but they better have this thing figured out by the Breeders' Cup, because those are very expensive horses that are coming over to run in that. So
they won't run it. I mean, I wouldn't. If I were a trainer or an owner, I wouldn't want to run my horse there until something's figured out.
Yeah, exactly. Can't take a chance.
I think a lot of it is the weather, but for me, there are other elements that are included here. But you can't just say that my track is lethal when it rains or after it's rained. That you can't have that. You can't have that. There are tracks across this country that get rain a lot more and are handling it. And I think part of the problem is you've got horses that just don't train in the slop. You've got horses that just don't train in this kind of weather. They're not used to it, and they're being overindulged.
Yeah. How about the next this weekend's golf?
the Memorial Jacks
Yeah.
tournament, yeah. I mean, Tiger's there, so that's big.
Okay.
That's big news. He hasn't been there for a while. He's won it 5 times. So, obviously, Jack's very happy that he's back. And, there is a break between now and next week. So, it was okay to have some big names even play at the Memorial this week, and then next week more or less take it off to prep for the Open. Had some friends that were up just playing at Pebble Beach this last week and said the rough is up. The fairways are narrow. They've shaved 18. They've shaved the whole fairway left all the way to the water. They brought the rough in from the right side almost all the way to the tree that's in the middle of the fairway. So that is your fairway. Your fairway is the tree to the creek, to the ocean. So they're gonna that's gonna be quite interesting because they'll firm that up, right? They want to firm those fairways up. So I don't know if they're going to be doing that on 9 and 10. Got to look into that because those balls could actually just keep trickling and go in the water down the cliff. So But should be quite interesting. And Jack's tournament's always great. So I think it's going to be a warm one there in Ohio this week. So
it's Pebble Beach 2 weeks after the...
Yeah, June 10th. It starts the week of June 10th. Yeah. So
looks like excuse me. It looks like Tiger's having fun again. Did you
yeah,
see?
no, it's great for golf. We've talked about that, and it was surprising that he missed the cut and missed by one actually in New York. Golf course is a very hard golf course. Brooks Koepka, man, he's just got a chip on his shoulder. He's a beast when it comes to these majors, and I'll give you guys my picks next week actually, because I won't be here the week of the Open because I have to work. So the Open. Okay. So but
Did you see the video of Tiger joking around? Somebody, while he was teeing up, just for a practice shot, somebody called out, "What do you think of that bet, that $50,000 bet that guy made, or whatever it was?" And he goes, "Great effing bet."
Yeah.
And then hit it.
Yeah.
And he says, "The Grand Slam bet, not so smart."
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. So and he'll be a favorite at Pebble. I mean, he obviously loves that golf course. So he was up there last Wednesday, played in the rain, but he's already seen the golf course. So. He's already doing his homework.
Yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me if he goes in a week before. So he'll go in after this week. Maybe he flies on his way back, or maybe he gets there early. I don't know, because he has family in Los Angeles, so he probably could come in early, play a little bit the week before, and then go down to L.A. and hang out, and then come back up. So
I think he's now number six in the world.
Five.
Yeah,
it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy where he was.
Yep, exactly. It's come a long way.
Yep.
We have a couple minutes. Anything going on with the Rams or Chargers? Should we get
Hunter Henry's doing really well. His recovery's doing really well for the Chargers. But no, I don't know. I don't have too much on the Rams or
the the Rams are missing 4 guys from OTAs. Gurley, for obvious reasons. Marcus Peters, who's looking for new contract.
Right.
Dante Fowler and Aqib Talib. That concerns me a little bit, but nothing major. It feels like they're ready to reload. If Gurley can get even close to healthy, we'll see. I think the Henderson kid from Memphis was a good pickup.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get some time on returns and in the slot. And the one thing I don't know about him is whether or not he's good enough to block. But even, with the kind of release time that you need, even just a chip block and then get out there for a little pass in the flat, sometimes that's all you need.
They have that. What was his name? Marcus Brown was his backup last year.
Mm-hmm.
He's back.
I think they kept. Yeah.
Yeah,
he kept him.
Yeah, they re-signed him. So, there are plenty of things that look bright, and it looks like Goff is loaded up and ready to go. So,
and we've got a backup for Goff now.
No, I don't know.
They do, and I couldn't tell you who it is.
Can't remember his.
Bruins
Bruins
Blues are 2-2 in the middle of the second. Hockey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ty is like a lead for the Bruins.
Yeah.
All right. If anybody doesn't have anything else, I think we are out.
Good night.
Peace. Sorry, I'm getting blown up for work.